Alright, much peace once again to everybody out here viewing these videos coming through. Today I just thought I'd do a little bit of brief content on a topic which I came across kind of recently, and it intrigued me. It was about the Egyptian history pertaining to ancient Australia. So ancient Egyptian history pertaining to the ancient indigenous Australians. So what I'll do, I'll try and see if this works. Get onto my screen. Now, just have to double check to see if this is going correct. This seems to be alright. Okay, so basically this is the first one we've come across here. They're saying, not the first, but this is one evidence, like pyramids in Australia. This one is situated in Cairns, so the northern easterly tip of the continent in the state of Queensland. As you can see here, this is it's covered up dramatically with forestry over the hundreds of years that have passed. Reading here, basically what they use it for today, they have a public, people can climb this, and they have an event of some sort of race, like the first one to get to the top of the mountain. So basically here, mountain is 922 meters tall. So it takes approximately 3 hours to reach the top. So just in regards to that, there's some fact which people, obviously won't be aware of. Now, one thing that really intrigued me the most was the Gosford glyphs, and how Billy Carson, a gentleman who's got a site, Forbidden Knowledge, I think, he is, he actually made a trip here to Australia to do research on that. It's in Kerrigong, New South Wales. I think they refer to them as the Gosford glyphs. But basically here is the next sort of picture. So glyphs allegedly shown in show Egyptians built pyramids in Australia, 2017. So we know approximately when the Australian Aboriginals arrived on the island, 65,000 to 70,000 years ago, and definitely when the Dutch navigator Willem Janszoon landed on Cape York Peninsula, 1606. That's 164 years before Captain Cook, who is the colloquially known founder, the British discoverer, who has basically founded Australia as we know it. But when did the first Egyptians arrive? And when did they finish building the two pyramids there? Egyptians? Pyramids? Wait, what? Tut in Oz. So basically this here, goes on to about talking about the Walsh Pyramid, which was in Cairns. So if you're familiar with Australia, you know about a mountain in Cairns in northern Queensland called Walsh's Pyramid, because do you really need to? The 922 meter, 3,024 foot independent peak is located in Woornoorn National Park and hosts the annual 12-kilometer Great Pyramid Race. So that's what I was talking about. So now to the interesting point. If you can see on the screen here, what does this look like to you? Kind of looks like a glyph or a carving into a wall of Anubis, the Egyptian mythological god. Now this is taken, a Gosford glyph that looks somewhat Egyptian. This is in Australia. This is in New South Wales on cave wall art. Um, I mean, so to people, this could be, it's quite shocking to me, intriguing information. So, where's the true connection of the history that we've been told or what we are shown? So, you know, like if I keep going down, do these glyphs look Egyptian? I mean, I'll zoom in a little bit. So, like, these are all in Australia, in a state called New South Wales. Obviously, not very publicized. Uh, you know, off the beaten track, as they say, but they are there. Um, a lot of people might discredit them. Let's just say it's all false and put there to show, to give an agenda and show the narrative. But that basically comes from Egyptologists themselves. They want to debunk it. So to me, in my mind, my personal opinion of Egyptology has always been one of a farcical nature, that it was created by French historians, archaeologists, and sociologists to distort the true picture of the past, because they lay claim to knowing the complete knowledge of Egypt and its history and what they unravel and uh, able to take from the tombs. So as we know, going a bit off course, but so many jewels, gold, all the intricate things, which materialistic things that the Europeans were adoring at that time. They ransacked and pillaged all over the world, not just in Egypt, but that's for another stream. So basically, there's two in Gosford. So that's the Gosford glyph. Now you could basically keep going if you wanted to look into it further. Carigong hieroglyphs, the Gosford glyphs in New South Wales. That is basically what I was talking about. So they say it's basically 5,000 years old. The wall art. Um, so I mean, that's something for thought. Now, well, along with that, there's the boomerang, right? Duak or the kundi, if it's in indigenous terms, although different tribes in different areas have different terminology and different names in their dialect for it. But to go with the next one here, I've googled up boomerangs in Egypt. Now they've supposedly found such things here. Now, just to put a little bit more info on that, actually the boomerang which most people see internationally around the world, shaped like this one here, in the sense that you throw it and it will come back to you. That's very much just a kind of novelty, touristy element that has been made, because that is not traditionally at all what they were for. They were hunting devices. The shape of them were not at all like this arch. They were more so, I guess you could say, in the shape of a hockey stick. Yeah, you say something like that. So they had a long uh, arm, a strong straight arm with a bend on the end there. Basically, they were thrown at animals or even attackers to basically break limbs and things like that. So if you were hunting a kangaroo, they would throw it at it, break its limb. Maybe even they did have ones which were very, very sharp edged, so it might stick into the um, or pierce the skin of the intended target. So that's just some information that for people that think boomerangs were like a toy, and you threw it for fun, so that would come back at you. That's obviously an invention, a new invention that people have come up with. But I'll read what is up here. It's Egyptian boomerangs, another common statement made by Carigong fringe theorists about so-called reports of boomerangs being found in ancient tombs in Egypt. Boomerang is a term used by Australians for the weapon used by Australian Aborigines. It is derived from the Aboriginal word Woomerang, which dates from 1798. So as you can see there, Woomerang is obviously a dialect of the people of New South Wales, where they first landed, the colonialists. So yeah, that's kind of, it's another interesting fact. So I'll just continue on there. So here we go. The Aboriginal people invented the non-returning throw stick, right? This is basically, so if you have a look, this is what the shapes look like of a boomerang, of a traditional. Well, this was the one I was more talking like, sort of like a hockey stick. Um, you know, there's basically, this would be the handle. They'd be throwing it. This would be intended to cause the damage or hit the target. Any of this would hit the limb, slow it down, then allow the hunters to go gather it. Same with this. There would be a sharpened edge along there, as opposed to this end. So there's a little bit of side information there. Now, I mean, staying on the topic of Egypt and Egyptology, this was something else that was to my mind. The fact of the the thought that Napoleon and his soldiers shot off the nose and lips of the Sphinx and a lot of other sort of structures around the world, to maybe, for what reason we don't know, but a lot of people say to de-signify actually the African history of the world. So that was the one I was looking for. There's Steve Nolan. Crazy Steve. Sorry. Now here is another. This stone was also transported to a site in Corsica, in Italy, in an attempt to discredit the photographs. So this is again to the pyramids in Australia. So you can see the similarity in design of these rocks, right? So why would they go to such lengths and extent to remove these items if there was nothing to it? If they were completely innocent, there'd be no need to. So obviously there is something to that for them to remove a rock from a newly found or supposedly newly discovered continent, move it to actually basically the foundings of this form of society, the Greco-Roman era that we are literally still living under. A lot of people might think this is Europeanized British colonial, living system, but it is still under the Greco-Roman system. So, that's just another something that just thought that you could bring to mind, and it should trigger some thought. Basically, this is what I was doing for, is just to try and show some interesting facts, and just help people trigger what they might have there. Now I'll try and find this one I was talking about. There we go. So this one here. Now, if you were to look at this is supposedly a view of the Sphinx near Cairo. Now, this was done when Napoleon was supposedly discovering the northeastern area of the continent. Now, having a look here, this was all obviously done with sketches of pencil and paper of such sorts, lead and graphite. But you can see here, there's a ladder, going all the way so that they're able to reach the apex top of the head. Three men standing there, their horses and all such things there. Another man at the bottom. So, looking at the size of him in comparison to the size of this structure, to the size of this ladder. Main thing, though, I want to point out here, if you haven't already noticed, is that the nose and the lips are in perfect structure and have not been shot off or have not been distorted at all in any which way. So, that's a fairly good indication to me of what was at the time. Like a little bit of a closer look here, lips still in contact or, in correct place. No, same. So it's the men and their ladder obviously doing some sort of measurements, which they have no idea about the architecture, how it was, because they still don't, and they can't figure out how it was made supposedly, so they can't replicate it. So yeah, just in that, there's a few ideas which should have you thinking about a few things, because this is basically was another impromptu thought and idea. I just put it together real quick because it intrigues me, and it's information which a lot of people we're not aware of, and it passes us by. So really, we're unaware, and it's not that you should be blamed for not knowing. It's like in your schools and things like that, but hey, we got to try and open up our minds, do the research that we sort of know of, and just keep that going, at that linking with like minds, obviously. And we want to just kind of do the best you could possibly be. I say that all the time. Another thing, I'll say it again: look inside yourself, find your direction, and follow that path. Right. So follow your intuition, be the best that you can be, respect, but stay positive and be on that path. So yeah, much thanks for everybody who has dropped in. If you guys could hit the like or the way in, it'd be much appreciated. Hopefully that little display of pictures came through clearly. So that's pretty cool. Peace out to DOD. Shout out to Ty Young, man. Chris Cobb, always peace. Killer King, thanks for coming in. Coleman Babe, great to see you. Canadami, my man. Raul the God, brother, peace, much peace. If everybody you're more than welcome to hit the link if you want to come up, open panel talk about things that you've got on your mind, some interesting facts, maybe related either way. Just, have your word heard, express yourself, man. That's another thing which a lot of people, I guess, are finding hard in today's society. They don't want to feel the discrimination of others and feel like they'd be shamed out, put in a box of their own, whereas you should be just proud of what you're doing. Safe sense, in the sense of bullying in the schoolyard. So, looking at that two ways, like I just thought of that. The bully itself, obviously is insecure and doing it for a reason of attention seeking, or, they're not thinking straight, because they're not thinking about, like, why would you want to harm somebody else just for the hell of it and to get laughs out of it? But then the bully victim also is okay, I kind of forgot which way I was going with that, but like the that actually the bully victim, doesn't not necessarily plays a role as unfortunate, but it is a side of that picture we got to understand. And be strong. Avoid that situation. I never really got bullied at school, but I saw a few people doing so. Unfortunately, I would say a couple of times I would have stepped in and stopped things when I was sure when they got too far. But a lot of the times when I was younger, I never really laughed, but I wouldn't jump in and stop it. But yeah, that's just even one in one. That's how it was, that's but how people can even fathom that sort of thought into, being so overpowering of people just because of a slight weakness they might perceive from the other person. But yeah, I might be ranting now. I'll keep my blessings. Blessings to all ancestors of those who are listening, who come before us. Blessings to all the loved ones, people who are listening. Much peace to all the people who are here listening. Oh, I sincerely hope for your inner wishes to come to fruition, and it could be achieved by just daily routine, persisting with your focus, having a vision, having a plan, and then going forth to manifest that. So, yeah, much like if you could, that's right, man. Raul, hit that like button. He's telling the fam, much appreciated. If you guys could all do that on the way in, that's good enough, man. I'll be happy. I'm just here building it, trying to keep minds linked all over worldwide, man. We are here in this internet space. I'll do a little bit of a smoke out blessing for the session. 3 in a row. How I go. So if you're out there and you roll up you like into the flower, this will be your time to get involved. Oi, Sean, what's up, my brother? Hope you're well. We got some like minds in the house, man. Like I just opened this up just now, and we got people from all walks of life in here, just chilling, listening. We got Canada, we got America, we got Hawaii, we got probably we got islands, we got Australia, we got Pacific, sides. Like I don't know where Raul, bro, where you based, but I know you've got an accent of kind of being in the Caribbean or Southern America. So I mean, that's worldwide. Hang on a sec. So number 2. And that's something like people might find that offensive or whatnot. But to me, I think I'm a major ganja advocate. Herbs are the healing of the nations, should say. We all know that. Not just the recreational benefits. There's much more benefits, within the medicinal and mental and the other elements which we do extract from it. Not just the THC, the CBD, the CGN, or CBG, I think it is, or CBN. There's many different little molecule. What are they called? Molecular structures that make up this beautiful flower that we call. So that was the third one. Blessings to all those 6, that's just how it is. I mean, people, I don't know, I was going to also I'll bust one out soon on Pemel weight, right? I look forward to an upcoming stream. Basically, these are the unsung heroes, you might say. Excuse me, in their mind, like, even as I said before, Captain Cook, George Washington would have been seen as a terrorist in the eyes of the crown during the time of the the Independence War. So this narrow talk of terrorist, anti-government, uh, even the like pro Afrocentric or pro black, they've always had that in America. They've been targeted uh, from the FBI. I'm just thinking of J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI files, which were, revealed in later times that there was no way they were letting that group rise in any such way. So, um, to I did it again. Forgot where I was going, but no, that's right. So yeah, I mean, George Washington was considered the terrorist in the eyes of the crown back in the founding days. Same way, it's just how like it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So how can we say, like, who to say is a terrorist? So in my mind, a lot of and I even did it in my previous stream. When this country was founded, it was written in the legislation, we must strike terror into the minds of the people who were against uh, our establishment, being those people being the natives of this country who were living in their cultural way. So basically, if you were to look up a gentleman named Pemulwuy, then you'll see there are different few others. So they were strong men who were proud to live their culture, uh, and were considered basically criminals and had like uh, reward money put out for their capture, dead or alive. I mean, so I know it's as far away and we've moved on from that, but I think that if we don't remember these things, then this is how future generations get fuddled and mumbled. And unfortunately, the uh, powers will continue. So, I mean, and you just like that will always be in place, I guess. You're always going to have the argumentative side, someone on the other side of the coin. There's two sides to the coin always in a relationship. There's two sides to it, it's not a one way street. So we just got to keep that in mind, man. But I'm about peace, respect for everybody. We all have a chance at life. We learn differently. We all are different. We have different um, answers and things like that for people who listen to streams and try to resonate with information to better themselves. One example that somebody preaches or speaks of may not exactly fit for your mold or your in your life, because we're all different. So we should just try and resonate with things and see what fits. Come with take what you can from it. Trial and error, practice makes perfect. So put it into practice. If it doesn't work, you're not feeling right, we'll try a little bit of another way, tweak it a bit. But remove all the negativeness you can. But oh, yo, please shout out to Cook, man. Shout out to Cook. We got a new one. I'll just check StreamYard. So yeah, if you guys, any people coming through, as I say, just hit that like if you can. And as much peace, though, respect. There's a link for anybody who does want to come up and join. I don't know if I'll go on too much longer if we don't get anyone up here. Or I'll definitely be looking forward to See, I mean, this is crazy. I'm looking at a book here. I've got like, um, so yeah, it'd be much better nowadays. You've got to be doing little screenshots and digital and things like that. So, but I'm into. I wasn't really one of a reader, but uh, I kind of am getting into it now. So, like, just with information. So, this these sort of pictures. I don't know if you can see it too clearly. You know, it's coming from this book, Aboriginal Convicts. It's basically about Maoris, the Aboriginals, Australians, and Khoisan of the Southern Africa. So, you know, it shows just their depiction of things and how, from their side, it's quite disgusting, really. Like, there's a lot of the ruthlessness. They called those cultures savage, the savageness of the natives. Um, but there was no death, there was no sickness, there was no, you know, like there was obviously disputes, and they had their way of settling that. There's, you know, there is Aboriginal law, which does still go, you know, in some regions have its designation, like the areas that delegated where it can still be performed. But these people, colonialists coming through, they did it. They, you know, by any means necessary, not to be, um, you know, as Malcolm X said, you know, but these guys literally took that into literal account. Man, they would rape women, kill the babies, uh, destroy the men, and really, really do it. As somebody, I read something the other day about how they, you know, they wanted to instill the minds, and they were saying it was kind of like a comment was saying it's kind of like the Jim Crow thought of mind that people have in America. How they wanted to instill the thought of, uh, you know, for the people to feel down, and they don't never have a chance of getting up, you know. And it really worked, and then, you know, and it's not it really worked, but you can see looking from the outside how a lot of these groups of people were just never wanted to push the line, because they knew that if they did, well, the repercussion would most likely be death, or, you know, getting bashed to near death. So, like, you know, that's what you call kind of savage. And then this is where, you know, who that's not even that's just daily occurrence. If you're walking down the street and someone is to pass you, like, I'm sure it was similar over there, but over here we had it. If a European, if, you know, if a white was walking along the footpath, the Aboriginal or coloured had to step off the footpath and go onto the dirt, or onto the, you know, street, to let that person pass. So, I mean, laws like that have changed, but this is how the basis of the society and the beginnings of it. And I don't, you know, you might say it's been corrected because they've stopped it, but, you know, I don't think it has been corrected, because it's still within the makeup of the government. You know, these views points were not erased, just maybe kind of subclassed. You know, they kept those words there, but put a subsection beneath it, kind of thing. Not that, yeah, that's kind of weird one, eh? It is how it is. So that's another reason why I say learn the jurisdiction in your local area, because it's all different state by state, even uh, county by county or suburb by suburb. So, you know, you really need to know, because a lot of us, we can stand up. Like, if we, you know, just little things, just if you get a ticket, if you were to, not say argue with a ticket, but question the circumstance, a lot of the time the officers or will at their discretion, can give you a warning. But not even talking criminal, like, just in any which way. There's with business and banking, a lot of times they'll offer you a certain contract or certain terms of sale, but if you just question it, um, you could get a better deal because they know that the seller knows, or the business structure does realize this, and that's the way they, because they're allowed to with doing the business law legislation. There's nothing saying they can't really overprice things. They will try, and they'll try and get away with it until, to receive their best revenue and best profit. And they'll have basically full knowledge of this when they are at your face smiling, saying, yes, this is the best offer we can give you. But then if you want to question it, hey, say, oh, okay, we'll make it a bit better. So, if you understood that analogy, then it's kind of part and parcel of everyday life. If you do that every time you walk out on the street, then, that's kind of like being assertive, I guess, and not to an extent where you get abrupt and kind of not narcissistic, just all about being selfish and narcissistic, I guess is the kind of word, but because I find there are people out there that are on that level that just want to take, and the niceness is taken for weakness. So be careful, and then like, don't always say yes at the first go. Take time to think. Think before you move is another one. I'd say, because like that whole analogy, it would, the whole society and things like that, and community would be completely different if it was, that was the case. If people were to question these things daily, like, and get their way. I mean, obvious if the occurrence, like as I took the example of the business seller, well, if he had 10 customers and then he had every 10 customers, he had that knowledge that he could give them the better deal, but he didn't because he could get that revenue. Well, if one out of those 10 stood up, okay, that's fine. He loses a little bit, business goes on as normal. But if, eight out of those 10, or all out of those 10 out of those 10 were to then question, then things will kind of make an impact to that seller. So, and that's going for all cases. As I said, it on the other side, it's full of the law if you're in court, or if you're pulled up on a street offence. So, the continuation of all the unnecessary fees goes on. But if we were to not all, but if that percentage was to be 8 out of 10 and make that impact, there would definitely be a change in how things would be rolling out. So it's kind of, I think that's a not a, that's just a fact. So like, if if it was to happen and people change their mind shifts, and it goes to show with how society does change. It's considered in the democratic society anyway, we're supposed to all vote, and it's the popular thought majority which wins at the vote. So if the numbers to change, then things, actions change, I guess, in society. Anyway, it's a bit of a rant, bro. I didn't. Hopefully that presentation got up on it well. Well, there's a few out there. Citizen Live, better go check that man out. Get up with the chat for a bit. I'll see if anyone's in the yard. No one's in the yard. So, shout out here again to all those listening, man. We got Becca, Cook, Dummy, Chris, Road God, Young, D.O.D. man, Killer King. Um, so like Sean's. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's talking. I'll just have a. Yeah, but obviously, yeah, but they're having a conversation. But I just noticed one thing, comment here. But Sean mentioned he saw the greatest rap show ever when he was 12. Dope. Um, well, and then Bro Cook, always on the Pink Floyd and the Eagles, was that was what his style was. Yeah, music is a huge part of my life. I love it, and it is like fantastic. And it's good to see people enjoying it and recognizing it. You don't even really have to play, but I have come across a few people that don't even listen to music, or it's kind of strange to me because it's really, for me as a music, it's like it's an expressive outlet, and you can get so much out, just a release complete. If you didn't have it, you'd probably have all this vent up, stored, just ill feeling, toxicity, I guess, which would not be good. uh, so even then, in that sense, if you're not one to play, listening puts you in that zone and can take you away and give you, get you on a better vibration and feeling in, and feel peaceful. Not peaceful, but just feel whichever zone you will go on. Like if the track's an up-tempo party, uh, it'll get you in that feeling. If it's a slow jam, sad song, it'll get you better than those. It'll, trigger the memories and get you in that space of frame of mind. Who have I seen? Same thing. I just see Cook saying he saw Run DMC and LL back in the day. That's pretty cool to see live. Back at you, Cowboys. Sup. Thank you for joining, brother. Um, just thinking of like live concerts. I played a lot, but that was it. I was in the folk scene. We were like a 9-piece band that ranged from reggae, dub, rock, kind of not rock, but just like we had hip hop. It just really, really ranging sound. But what did I see? I saw Snoop live at a festival, which I thought was pretty good in the sense that he sounded exactly like the tape, and that's a good what's that benchmark, I guess, to check the artist, the vocalist, because if he's able, the ability to sound good live and sound good on a record is a different thing, because you've mixed and had all the effects put on your vocals. You're allowed to so many takes to get it right. um you don't, so like when you're on live, you just got that one chance, one take. So yeah, Snoop's voice was on point, his lyrics were there. The Beastie Boys were also there at that time. They did well. Their show was actually what was more memorable, I guess, because they just didn't get up there and just rap. They like broke out and did some jazz for like 5 minutes in their tuxedos and suits, in between busting out their hip hop. It was quite not strange, but just like it was just part of their show. So I guess that's another major thing you got to think about when you're putting together the show. Because you've got, it used to be about all the effects, many bands on stage. Now it's just, nowadays it's kind of just press play on a MPC or a laptop, and then you good to go with a rapper. And I think the day before that, you would have just had your DJs and your mics. So it's like, you know what I mean? 2 turntables and one DJ. I mean, and one MC and a microphone. Whoa, bro. Bro Cook saw Woo. Man, he reckons they toke. That's good, bro. That's good. Nah, driving. That would have been a show. Did you see them when ODB was still around? Because he's much blessings to Russell Jones, man. Osiris, aka Big Baby, or he's the maddest, man. Old Dirty Bastard was the wickedest, I thought. I mean, they all had their different parts to it, but his the array, you know, like, because I guess everybody had their own little the style, which was their voice, and you could recognize it, and it was very similar in a, you know, like in a kind of, I can't really, what's the word? It was just uh, branded and same, you know, it just that flow would, that technique would just keep going. Whereas the array of Old Dirties was because he could go from singing in a rough sense to then screaming, wah, wah, but then he'd be able to rap flow. Like, he was just crazy, and he took it all which ways, and I love that about it. Anyway, wow, man. So he was there. Blessings. That's cool. See, even in that sense, right? So those sort of shows is just guys are now they'd have, like, you know, say it was the 9 MCs up there, but they just bring up 100 people and they're jumping on stage and the beat is playing in the background. And I guess sometimes now, this not back then, but now the vocals are even pre-recorded. So in a sense, that was not so great. Oh, okay, so Onyx was the headliner. Wow. Yeah. I had the Back the Fuck Up album, and it's like me and Jack, the Black Vagina Finder, fear the witch, clear the wrist and poppy pussy with my pinky, trying to get yours up, trying to get mine up. That was dope, bro. Method Man, Rizzo passing around all the time. Yeah, I heard that actually. I feel when Method Man came to Australia. I wasn't there, unfortunately, but he got to meet him at a person's place. I think it was the promoter or something that he went to, and yeah, he was a really, really chill guy, very nice, and was just passing around massive bud the whole way. So that's cool. Um, Alright, I'll check out StreamYard. I don't think we got yet about it. So I'll probably finish up because it's like I'll get some more prepared shit. This is just impromptu, like just going off the brain talk. So, but much appreciation again for everybody coming through here and just chilling. You know, and putting up with the low tempo vibe that I bring through. But it's yeah, I'll get some more preparation. As I said in the beginning, there should be some bit of pictures and stuff. I hope it came through. Last time it didn't work. I saw that I didn't have the screen share and StreamYard was still showing, and I was speaking, and the pictures didn't come through. So I've obviously got to learn that technique and see how it goes through. But get prepared with those. So look forward to all of that. Always, man. Very cool. Back to everybody, man. Who was in the house. Much peace. So, and we'll see everybody on the next online event. You know what I mean? Because we're all gonna be popping up around in the same places. So just keep straight, keep the force with you, keep positive, and stay away from all the nonsense that doesn't need to be in your life, bro. Peace out, always from Australia, kicking it.